All right, you're going to want to see this. What we're talking about today, it's not some small update. It's not a new feature. Google DeepMind just dropped something called Project Genie 3, and it's basically a nuke for the entire video game industry. I'm not exaggerating. If this thing is for real, the way we've made video games for decades, yeah, that's done. It's over.
So check out this number, $2 billion. That's roughly what it costs to make one game, a massive game like Grand Theft Auto 6. We're talking a decade of work, thousands of people pouring millions of hours into painstakingly building every single piece of that world.
And look, don't get me wrong, it's a total masterpiece. But it's a masterpiece of the old world. It's like the most beautiful, intricate steam engine you've ever seen right before the invention of electricity. Because the tech we're about to get into, it doesn't just bend the rules, it completely incinerates the rule book. Let's get into it. Okay, so to really get why this is such a huge deal, you gotta understand this one simple idea. The huge difference between rendering a world and dreaming one.
So up until right now, every single game world you've ever played in has been rendered. That means a human, a person, had to sit there and place every single tree, model every building, code every rule for how things work. It's static. It's built by hand, piece by tedious piece. The new way? We're talking about AI dreaming these worlds up. And I don't mean just making a picture. I mean generating an actual place.
And this is where Genie 3 just changes the game completely. You know, last year we saw models like Sora, right? They could dream up a video, a movie, but that's all it was, something you watch. Genie 3 dreams up stuff you can actually play. It's not just making the pixels you see on screen, it's making up the physics, the cause and effect, even the core idea of the game itself. And it's doing it all in real time.
So let's look at the tech itself, because honestly, what they showed off, it feels less like a product demo and more like watching a magic trick. It's what I'm calling a playable hallucination.
Just look at this quote. That's it. That is the entire instruction they gave the AI. One sentence. Now think about that. In a normal game engine, trying to build a mechanic where gravity flips every 10 seconds? That's, what, months of a senior designer pulling their hair out? With Genie 3, it's just a sentence you type.
So how in the world does it do this? Well, first, it generates all the 3D shapes, the geometry. Then it slaps on textures to make it all look right. Pretty standard stuff so far. But steps 3 and 4, that's where the magic happens. It doesn't just use normal physics, it invents a whole new physics system based on your prompt. And this is the craziest part, it understands gameplay. It's watched so much gameplay footage that it just knows a floor is for walking on, and a ledge is probably something you should be able to jump to. Nobody has to tell it that.
So let's be super clear here. This isn't just the AI grabbing a bunch of pre-made buildings and cars and sticking them together like Legos. No, it's creating a totally new, interactive, playable world from nothing, from a single idea. It's a genuine, playable hallucination.
Okay, and this is where things get, well, pretty serious. Because a tool this powerful doesn't just open new doors, it welds old ones shut, permanently. This is the kill shot for the game industry, as we've always known it.
I mean, think about it from a business perspective. Why would you pay $70 for one game, one static, 20-hour world, when you could pay a monthly fee like Netflix and get access to literally infinite new worlds to explore, worlds generated just for you? The whole business model that's been running things for 40 years, it's just completely broken now.
And what about the jobs, the actual people who make these games? Let's go down the list. The 3D modeler, who spent years learning to sculpt every little detail by hand. Well, now that can be done with a single sentence. What about the person whose entire career is about carefully building game levels?
Yep, that's a prompt now. And how about the QA tester, the person who plays the same section for hundreds of hours just to find bugs?
You have to assume that an AI that can dream up the rules of its own world can probably test that world way faster and better than any human. The level of disruption here, it's just staggering.
This quote right here just nails it. The future of making games isn't going to be about knowing the C++ to code a jump mechanic. The future is about having the creative vision to prompt the perfect jump mechanic. The value is shifting from technical skill to creative direction. It's all about knowing what to ask the AI for.
But look, this isn't all doom and gloom. It's not just an ending. Every single time a barrier like this gets smashed, it just unleashes a tidal wave of creativity from people who were locked out before. This isn't the end of gaming. It's the beginning of a brand new era, what I'm calling the era of directors. So, what's the big takeaway here?
Let's break it down. First, game development as we know it, that super technical, code-heavy discipline, it's basically history. Second, the role is changing. The age of the developer is giving way to the age of the director, the visionary. And maybe the biggest point of all, the barrier to entry, the cost and skill you needed to build a world, it just hit absolute zero.
And that leaves us with one last question. It's exciting, maybe a little bit scary, but it's the most important one. When the only thing stopping you from creating a living, breathing world is your own imagination, when anyone can do it with just a few words, what are you going to build?